Asia isn't just rising, it's rewriting the global script. From the dazzling energy of Mumbai's markets to the high-tech brilliance of Shenzhen and the futuristic skylines of Singapore, this region has become the epicenter of global transformation. In 2025, Asia isn't following trends, it's setting them, reshaping industries, driving innovation, and steering the world's economic future. With China, India, Japan, and South Korea leading the charge, Asia is powering nearly 60% of global GDP growth, a staggering influence that demands attention. Picture this. China, no longer just the world's factory, is now a dominant AI and tech innovator. India, surging ahead as the fastest-growing major economy, is emerging as the nerve center for global services. Meanwhile, nations like Vietnam and Indonesia are flipping the script on global manufacturing, carving new paths in supply chains. This isn't just growth, it's a revolution that's touching billions of lives and shifting the balance of global power. But here's the twist. With great power comes great challenges. Can Asia navigate the storm of trade wars, environmental crises, and an aging population? Or will these very challenges ignite a new wave of innovation that cements its place as the world's leader? The stakes couldn't be higher, and the answers will shape the future of the global economy. If you're as captivated by this seismic shift as we are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Economy Explorer, because the story of Asia's rise is just getting started. Economic growth and projections. Asia's expanding horizons. In 1990, the share of global GDP contributed by Asia was just over 20%. Fast forward to 2025, and that number has tripled, with the region now driving nearly 60% of global economic growth. What's behind this meteoric rise? It's not just the sheer size of its population, it's the ability of Asian economies to innovate, adapt, and capitalize on global shifts. Let's start with the big players, China and India. These two giants aren't just growing, they're transforming. China, once the workshop of the world, is now pivoting to a high-tech, consumption-driven economy. Despite challenges in its property sector, its growth remains steady, projected at 4.5% for 2025. Why? The Chinese government's push into industries like green technology and artificial intelligence has created a buffer against external pressures. Meanwhile, its Belt and Road Initiative continues to expand trade routes, creating economic opportunities for smaller nations across Asia. Then there's India, the world's fastest-growing major economy, with a staggering 7% growth forecast for 2025. Its booming tech and services sector, coupled with rising foreign investment, is reshaping its role in the global economy. Cities like Bengaluru and Hyderabad are becoming innovation hubs, attracting tech giants like Microsoft and Google. But perhaps the most exciting part of India's story is its young, tech-savvy population, which is driving both domestic consumption and global tech advancements. Southeast Asia is also stepping into the spotlight. Nations like Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines are emerging as the next manufacturing and investment destinations, benefiting from supply chain shifts caused by U.S.-China tensions. Vietnam, for instance, is becoming a global hub for electronics, attracting investments from companies like Samsung and Apple. These countries represent a new wave of economic dynamism in the region. So, what does this mean for the rest of the world? As Asia's economies grow, they're not just producing more, they're demanding more: energy, technology, and trade partnerships. This creates ripple effects across the global economy. But here's where it gets even more interesting. How will these nations address the challenges of maintaining this momentum? That's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Stay with us as we delve into Asia's geopolitical landscape, where economics and diplomacy collide. Technological innovation, Asia's leap into the future. In 2010, if you asked where the next technological breakthrough would emerge, most people would have pointed to Silicon Valley. Today, however, the spotlight has shifted eastward, and Asia is stealing the show. From artificial intelligence to renewable energy, Asia's tech scene isn't just catching up, it's setting the pace. Let's take a closer look at why Asia has become the world's technology epicenter. China leads the charge, and its influence is impossible to ignore. The nation has rapidly transitioned from a manufacturing hub to an innovation powerhouse. In cities like Shenzhen, tech startups thrive in a culture of speed and boldness. Companies such as Huawei and Tencent are redefining global standards in telecommunications and gaming. Meanwhile, Beijing's massive investments in artificial intelligence are paying off. Chinese AI programs are now some of the most advanced in the world, from facial recognition technology used in smart cities to sophisticated algorithms driving autonomous vehicles. India, too, is making waves. Dubbed the world's back office in the early 2000s, India has evolved into a global tech leader. Bengaluru, often called the Silicon Valley of Asia, is a hub for software development, fintech, and biotechnology. Companies like Infosys and Wipro dominate the global IT services market, while startups like Paytm and Byju's are shaping the future of digital payments and education. What's fueling this growth? A massive pool of talented young professionals who are as comfortable coding in Python as they are brainstorming the next big app. But innovation isn't limited to the giants. Southeast Asia is emerging as a major player, with countries like Vietnam and Indonesia building thriving tech ecosystems. In Ho Chi Minh City, local startups are attracting international investors, while Jakarta is home to unicorns like Gojek, a company that's redefined transportation and logistics across the region. Even Japan and South Korea, already renowned for their technological contributions, are pushing boundaries. South Korea's leadership in 5G technology has revolutionized connectivity, while Japan continues to lead in robotics and automation. Across the region, innovation hubs are sprouting, creating a network of technological collaboration. The real question is, what's next? With Asia dominating fields like AI, fintech, and green tech, the competition for global technological leadership has never been fiercer. But innovation isn't just about technology. It's also about navigating the geopolitical and economic challenges that come with it. And that's where things get even more interesting. Let's dive into the complex web of geopolitics shaping Asia's technological dominance. Geopolitical dynamics, Asia's strategic chessboard. In 2025, Asia stands as a central arena for complex geopolitical maneuvers, with regional powers engaging in strategic plays that have far-reaching implications. A notable development is the strengthening of the quadrilateral security dialogue, commonly known as the Quad, comprising the United States, India, Japan, and Australia. This alliance has been revitalized to counterbalance China's growing assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific region. The Quad's initiatives, ranging from joint military exercises to collaborative infrastructure projects, aim to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific, challenging China's expansive maritime claims and its Belt and Road Initiative. China's rise continues to be a focal point in regional geopolitics. Its Belt and Road Initiative has extended Beijing's influence across Asia, Africa, and beyond, creating economic dependencies that translate into political leverage. However, this expansion has led to tensions, particularly in the South China Sea, where China's territorial claims and militarization efforts have caused friction with neighboring countries and the United States. India, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is navigating this shifting landscape by pursuing a strategy of multi-alignment. Balancing its participation in the Quad with its historical ties to Russia and a complex relationship with China, India seeks to assert its influence while avoiding entanglement in great power rivalries. This approach reflects New Delhi's desire to maintain strategic autonomy and address regional challenges on its own terms. Southeast Asia faces its own set of challenges as nations like Vietnam and the Philippines find themselves caught between economic opportunities presented by China and security assurances offered by the United States. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, strives to maintain unity and centrality, but internal divisions and external pressures test its effectiveness in addressing regional disputes and maintaining stability. The Korean Peninsula remains a flashpoint, with North Korea's nuclear ambitions prompting a recalibration of security policies in South Korea and Japan. Recent political instability in South Korea, marked by an attempted coup and subsequent economic repercussions, adds another layer of complexity to the regional security environment. As Asia's geopolitical landscape evolves, the interplay between economic interdependence and strategic competition shapes the actions of regional actors. The decisions made by these nations in response to emerging challenges will not only determine the future of Asia, but also influence global stability and prosperity. The intricate balance of cooperation and rivalry continues to define the region's trajectory, making Asia a pivotal theater in the unfolding narrative of 21st century geopolitics. Sustainability and climate change, Asia's green awakening. In 2025, Asia finds itself at the epicenter of a global climate reckoning. The region is home to some of the fastest-growing economies, but also some of the most vulnerable populations to climate change. In Bangladesh, for instance, rising sea levels threaten to displace millions, while in India, deadly heat waves are becoming alarmingly frequent. These crises are stark reminders that for Asia, sustainability is no longer a choice. It's a necessity. Asia is stepping up. China, the world's largest emitter of greenhouse gases, has pledged to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. The country's investment in renewable energy is unmatched, with solar farms stretching across deserts and wind turbines dotting its coastlines. By 2025, China is expected to generate nearly 50% of its energy from renewable sources. This is a transformative shift for a country that once relied heavily on coal to fuel its growth. India is also making bold strides. The International Solar Alliance, an initiative spearheaded by India, has brought together over 120 countries to expand solar power usage. Meanwhile, Indian cities are investing in green infrastructure with sustainable urban planning at the forefront. Bengaluru's new metro system, powered by solar energy, is just one example of how innovation meets sustainability in a region grappling with rapid urbanization. Southeast Asia is rising to the challenge as well. Vietnam, once heavily dependent on coal, is now a leader in wind and solar energy. The Philippines has implemented strict policies to protect its coastal ecosystems, recognizing their critical role in combating rising sea levels and preserving biodiversity. But sustainability isn't just about energy. Across Asia, sustainable agriculture is gaining momentum. In Japan, vertical farming is reducing land usage while boosting crop yields. In Indonesia, mangrove restoration projects are protecting shorelines and capturing carbon. These efforts not only combat climate change, but also create jobs and improve food security for millions. Yet, challenges remain. The transition to green energy is costly, and many countries still rely on fossil fuels to power their economies. Collaboration and innovation will be key to overcoming these hurdles. How will Asia balance its need for rapid economic development with the urgency of sustainability? The answer lies in its ability to turn adversity into opportunity, a theme that runs deep in the region's history. Demographic shifts and urbanization, Asia's evolving face. In Tokyo, a robotic assistant delivers groceries to an elderly couple. In Jakarta, vibrant mega-projects transform sprawling suburbs into self-sustaining smart cities. Across Asia, demographic shifts and rapid urbanization are reshaping the region's social and economic landscape, creating opportunities while posing unprecedented challenges. One of the most significant changes is Asia's aging population. By 2025, countries like Japan and South Korea will see nearly 30% of their citizens over the age of 65. While this reflects improved healthcare and longevity, it also strains economies dependent on younger workers. Pension systems are under pressure, healthcare costs are skyrocketing, and labor shortages loom large. But Asia is innovating. Japan leads the way with robotics and automation, integrating them into elder care and industries to offset labor deficits. On the flip side, countries like India and the Philippines boast a youthful demographic dividend. Over half of India's population is under 30, offering a workforce brimming with potential. This demographic advantage positions these nations to drive economic growth, especially in tech, manufacturing, and service industries. But the question remains, can their infrastructure and policies keep pace with this surge? Urbanization is the other side of the coin. Over 2.5 billion people are expected to live in Asian cities by 2030, creating megacities like Delhi, Manila, and Bangkok. These urban hubs are engines of economic activity, but also hotspots for congestion, pollution, and housing shortages. Innovative solutions are emerging. Singapore's vertical gardens, India's green metro systems, and China's sprawling sponge cities designed to manage floodwaters are just a few examples of sustainable urban planning. As cities grow and populations shift, Asia's governments face a balancing act, fostering economic growth while ensuring social equity and environmental sustainability. What happens next will shape not just Asia's destiny, but also the global future. Stay tuned because the challenges and opportunities in Asia's demographic and urban revolution are just the beginning of a larger story. Shaping Asia's destiny. In the 1960s, Asia was often seen as a region struggling to find its footing in the post-colonial world. Today, it stands tall as a global powerhouse, redefining what it means to lead in innovation, growth, sustainability, and resilience. The story of Asia's rise is not just about economic progress. It's about transformation on a scale the world has rarely seen. As we've explored, Asia's technology revolution is paving the way for groundbreaking advancements. Its geopolitical dynamics are reshaping alliances and influencing global power structures. The region's focus on sustainability is a critical response to the pressing challenges of climate change, and its evolving demographics and rapid urbanization highlight both the complexity and the promise of its future. But this journey is far from over. Asia's challenges, be it managing its aging populations, balancing growth with environmental responsibility, or navigating geopolitical tensions, are steep. Yet, these very hurdles are also opportunities, forcing innovation, collaboration, and bold leadership. The choices made in Asia today will ripple across the globe, influencing economies, policies, and societies for generations to come. So, what does this mean for you? As Asia shapes its destiny, it also shapes the world we live in. If you're as inspired by this incredible transformation as we are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Economy Explorer. Watch one of our suggested videos next and join us on this journey of discovery,